Mr. Prime. There's the Friday night intro we all wait for.
Tell me something more depressing than leaving a happy hour Friday night to talk Jets, Cardinals, Flacco, and Gore.
Man, we could have just very easily not have done this, and we could have just hung out and,
Got to stay consistent, right?
Yep. So the day starts off with, with the Jets, it's never a dull moment, ever.
No.
So you wake up this morning, you're like, how do you find
hold
ways
on. But before we even talk about today, can we talk about the quotes from Adam Gase yesterday?
Good. Fire away. Let's go.
All right. So just, again, I thought I was beyond getting pissed off at anything else that he could say. And, of course, my phone's blacking out right now. But the first one was about the practices, right?
Oh.
So,
yeah.
Basically, he says, okay, now my phone's back. So, quote number 1. We tweak the practice routine in an attempt to, joke's not recommended by sports. It's not recommended by sports science, but let's try to do something different. So it's not recommended by sports science. So you're acknowledging that guys might get hurt. You're going to amp it up for what purpose? To save your job. So that's number 1. The other one, him basically putting the onus on all the players. I'm trying to find the other quote from Samini. If we can't do it the right way, we'll get different guys in here.
Yep. Well, there's two things.
Where's the accountability from him to just say, like, I need to do a better job? Like, why is it so difficult for him to just say that?
Well,
why is it always somebody else? Like, at this point, how can you still be there just pointing fingers at everybody else and not owning what everybody else is acknowledging, that your play calling is shit? You're lacking innovation at every single turn. Your quarterback is regressing, and now he's hurt. Your left tackle, who was off to a phenomenal start, now he's hurt because of the way you mishandled that. At what point do you say, all this shit that's going wrong, the reason that we're 0-4 is my responsibility as head coach? At what point does he do that?
Well, see, you gotta think about it this way. He's going against sports science, but whatever the Jets have done for the last year and a half have caused them endless amounts of injuries. So maybe the opposite will happen. They'll actually stay healthy now because it can't get any worse. But if anything, it goes back to the players saying the last 3 weeks the practices weren't competitive, the practices weren't intense, all this. So now, after 4 losing games, now, not after losing the first game, not losing the second game, it takes you 4 losses to say, you know what? I think I'm going to change something now. Now you're going to do it, dude? A little bit late. Like your job, like he's toast. Like this is like a game now. Now he's going to be like, you know what? I'm trying to change things up and save my team. Dude, it's over. It's over. This is you're walking the plank. You're almost at the end. It should have been at the end already, but it's a joke, man.
And had his ownership and Douglas see this and just say, you know what, we're going to continue to allow this to
go on for another
12 weeks.
They don't care. Ownership doesn't care. Let's be honest. They can give a rat's ass. The Jets are a laughing stock, and you know what? Do you know what the ownership is hoping for? That the Jets become more relevant than they already are. Because guess what's going to happen? Nobody's going to care. Like right now, we've been angry the last 3-4 weeks. Like Sunday, I really don't care about Joe Flacco. Like we're all going to start losing interest. You know what I mean? Like, the Jets lost again. Who cares? Who cares? And that's exactly what ownership wants.
Yep.
Nobody's going to care. Adam Gase will ride the rest of the season out. They'll go 2-14. No big deal, and that's it. Ownership, they're just letting us. They're fighting your time, man. That's all they're doing.
But that's fine. All right, ownership, we expect that from Adam Gase. We expect this from him.
Yep.
But Joe Douglas was supposed to be different. That's the guy that we were sold on, the changer of the culture and all that. That's the guy we were sold on. Why isn't he doing anything? Why isn't he out in front of this, talking to the media, talking to ownership to say, hey, this can't be the guy? Or is he aligned with Adam Gase like we've been talking about?
Or he
wants him to coach the team.
Or he's just like, you know what? He's just like, you know what? I'm riding this out this season. He's going to be gone, and I'll get my true rebuild next year when all this is gone.
But you're hurting players now.
Dude, listen, I'm on your side, man.
No,
like we're going to go through the injury report now. The injury report, the 2 biggest players that are out are because Adam Gase is incompetent. Exactly. Simple as that. Exactly. And to be honest with you, if we're going to be really honest about this, Joe Douglas is incompetent too. Because at some point on the sideline when Sam Darnold goes into the tent and they give him a shot or whatever the hell they do they won't admit to, some phone call comes down from the upstairs. Like, all right, what's going on with the quarterback? What's this? He's going back in. Who's deciding who's going back in? Why is he going back in? Let's live for another day. Let's make sure he could play next week. Because if it's sketchy, like when in doubt, he doesn't play. Like Becton, when in doubt, he shouldn't have been active.
Yep.
But they made decisions. They were both wrong. Now both players are out. Good job. Your left tackle and your starting quarterback are out. That's on Gase. That's on Douglas too.
and instead of giving them 9 days to, get healthy and get ready, now, who knows when they're going to be back. You obviously got Becton more injured. You said the injury couldn't get worse. Well, clearly it did. If he was potentially on track to be able to play for this game, and now he's not. So clearly he regressed. And, again, same thing for Sam. Why rush him back out there in a meaningless game where he had half your roster hurt? There was no reason other than for Adam Gase to try to save his job on primetime. That's it.
So now this whole new, they changed their whatever they did, and their I can care less, dude. Like, listen, what they change in practice is not gonna matter, because half this team's already quitting. They're already done. They've given up. Like, you know what? They're gonna go through the motions, and you know why? Because nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody's getting benched. Nobody's getting cut. Nobody's getting sit out. Nobody's getting called out in the media. There's no names, but hey, you know what? This guy's got to play better. This guy's got to do this. Like, nobody, nothing. It's one big happy losing Jets family. They lose, and it's okay. Go on to the next week. You lose, and nobody cares.
But even the guys like, Jordan Jenkins, the Frank Gores that we know are going to come and bring it no matter what, even those guys, how can they listen to these quotes from Gase and actually back him? Checks. Well, exactly. Collecting checks is different from going all in. You can show up and collect a check. Anyone can do that.
Yep.
But to put that extra effort in, you're not going to get that from anybody, especially being 0-4. The players know what they have. They're not fooling anybody. They know this isn't a playoff team. Nope. So now you start throwing guys under the bus, saying, we need to change things up and putting it on them.
Gase is a fraud, man.
Ridiculous, man.
He's a fraud. Like this happened last year. This is happening. All this, like, it's never him. It's everybody else. And every once in a while, it's like, well, we think it's like either them or we. It's never I. That's the problem with Gase. It's never like the I have to do a better job comes after he blames everybody else. So now it's like the excuses are a thing. COVID's a thing. The sun's in his eyes. His mask, he can't see over his mask. Like all kinds of shit, dude. It doesn't make a difference. So the whole changing of practice protocols doesn't bother me at all. I'm just over it. Like, I don't even care. Because no matter what comes out of anything out of Florham Park, I don't believe any of it. I think they're all liars. They're all frauds. There's a losing organization, losing culture. None of it matters. Like I said, like the press conferences don't mean anything. Like I used to try to see if I can get something out of it. He's desperate. They're going to try to say anything they can to have faith. Your fans keep any kind of faith in them, which we have none. We know what they are. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do or say? You know what I mean? So I'm not even. So you wake up this morning and you're like, all right, I'm trying to muster some kind of energy for this game because we got to do these things, this show and stuff. And I'm like, all right, so how do we do this? And then lo and behold, you have this. There's a positive COVID test, a positive COVID test for the Jets. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then the first thing, obviously, you worry about is the health of everybody. Like, we want, my first instinct was cancel the rest of the season for the Jets, fire Gase, and we're fine. We get like a 13 or a 12-week break, and we're all good. But then you're just like, you know what? You want to make sure everybody's healthy. That's the most important thing, and it doesn't spread and everything else. So that saga goes on all day. Now they're all fine. They're all cleared. So then you go to the injury report. I'm like, all right, let me see how we can just get through this injury report. And then you start with that. And it's like, okay, Sam Darnold's out, disgraceful. Becton's out, disgraceful. Then you think about Joe Flacco is going to start, who is not remotely mobile, with another revamped offensive line, meaning your left tackle's out. It's going to be who? Adoga or McDermott, or whoever they're going to put over there, right? How in the living hell is Joe Flacco even going to get through this game? Because he's not – because first of all, Adam Gase apparently is not going to change his playbook, which his playbook sucked anyway. But, like, how do you even protect Joe Flacco in this game, dude? Seriously. Like, how do you even keep him upright for 4 quarters?
Ground and pound. I mean, you're going to see – Bell should be back. I mean, that's the report that he might be back. Obviously, I don't expect him to get 20 carries or anything like that, which is going to mean plenty of Frank Gore again. And hopefully sprinkle a little bit of P. Ryan in there as well. And, yeah, I mean, that's probably how you're going to run your offense. A lot of ground and pound, short passes, get the ball out quick, and just don't let him sit back there and get his ass beat. Yeah,
I mean, you look at it, you get Bell back. I mean, the offensive line without Becton, dude. Like, your whole thing with Bell was, like, run behind Becton. That's it. Right. That was your mammoth guy. Now you have him. And now what I think you're going to see is the Cardinals get back Budda Baker, a phenomenal safety. They have Patrick Peterson. Like, they have enough stud guys. They have Chandler Jones. Yep. I mean, their defense isn't elite, but it's very good with some very good playmakers. That what little things we can maybe do good, they can offset them very easily. I mean, Patrick Peterson's going to shut down whoever he wants. Perriman's out again. I mean, Mims is still out, which is ridiculous. Jeff Smith showed something. Vincent Smith could play, but I'm like, we're trying to throw guys out there, trying to inspire ourselves, and we kind of know Jamison Crowder's banged up, which is not good. The tight ends are invisible. So if you're going to go ground and pound, which would be obvious, the Cardinals are going to know this because they're well coached. So then the pressure's going to be on Flacco to make plays. And to keep him, who's going to be rusty, not good anyway. I mean, he's in the twilight of his career. I mean, it's very clear he's coming off a serious injury. I mean, I just don't understand how he's going to function on Sunday. I really don't.
Can I ask the question why it would be a bad idea not to start James Morgan if you invested a 4th-round pick in him? Let this kid just get some experience, kind of see what you have.
Can't hurt. I mean, what they're gonna do is, out of respect to Flacco, a veteran guy, Super Bowl champ, they're gonna let him play and see what happens. I mean, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised to see Morgan play in this game because I think Flacco's gonna get the shit beat out of him. Like, I don't understand what they're gonna do. I don't understand they put a game plan around him. I don't know how you keep him upright. Gase can't adapt anyway, and now you have a guy that can't even move.
Well, it's not like we throw the ball deep anyway. So, like you said, the playbook is going to stay the same. It's going to be a lot of short routes, a lot of bubble screens, passes behind the line of scrimmage, where he's not going to be sitting back there for 3 and 4 seconds. And beyond that, it's going to be a lot of Frank Gore and Le'Veon Bell. And I mean, you're probably talking about,
and they're not going to do a lot with Bell because it's his first game back.
Yeah, exactly.
You already hear the post game comments. Well, we got to take it easy with Bell. It's his first game back. We don't want to push our luck. I mean, your luck's already been pushed, man. You've already destroyed everything. You're not really fooling anybody here. But if anything, you know what? How about you go Bell, Pirine, Gore? How about you take away, let's get the more explosive, faster guys here, because guess what? If they're stacking the box, you can only run into a brick wall so many times. You guys start adding the speed element to the game here.
I thought that swing pass to Frank Gore, that's
wheel route.
Yeah.
You're trying to make me angry, aren't you? I'm trying to stay calm here. I mean, I'm just trying to stay calm, dude. So you look at the injury report, obviously, we talked about it. Becton out's huge. You're looking at how long is this going to last here with all your prominent players being out? The wide receivers are all banged up. And then you look at the Cardinals, man. I think the Jets here are going to be like, on offense, I don't expect much. The other way around, their offense against our defense is a complete mismatch. There is no way that any positive Jets fan, I don't care how much Kool-Aid you've drank, I don't know how many beers you've drank, how many Truly you've drank, there is no living way in hell you can justify any way we can slow down this offense. We will be out-coached. There's out-talent. There's just nothing. There's no facet of way we can slow them down. Nothing.
No, I agree. They have too many weapons, and when you factor in the speed of Kyler Murray and what he could do, I mean, who's going to be the spy that can keep up with him?
Nobody.
Avery Williamson, Neville Hewitt? No, they're not doing
Alec
that.
Ogletree, slower than molasses.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, your only hope is to kind of play a bend but don't break, don't get beat deep, hope to play some zone and force him into a few interceptions like you did with Rippon. But I think their offense is just too good, and I don't even know what you do. Like you said, like you have like Murray has more rushing yards than Kenyon Drake has. Yeah. I mean, he can do so many things with the ball in his hand, man. So it's like, all right, say if Ashton Davis can finally come back, he's questionable, I think, at this point. Yeah. If you go 3 safeties and you go that route, okay, McDougald sucks. Marcus May, I'm not really sure what they're doing. He's usually 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know what the hell he's doing back there. Maybe he's waving to the cardboard cutouts. I'm not really sure what the hell he's doing back there. So maybe you go 3 safeties, which they were not good. But we don't even have corners to match up with the receivers. Like, you have nobody for DeAndre Hopkins, who's amongst the league leaders in almost every stat in football. Then you have Larry Fitzgerald, who's a vet, Hall of Famer. They have a tight ends catching passes, Dan Arnold. They have everybody. Andy, Isabella, whatever his name is. Yep. Dude, we can't match up anywhere. Then you add the mobility of Kyler Murray, plus the innovative of Cliff Kingsbury, who was interviewing for this job, who wants to just blow smoke right up. He just wants to just lay it on the Jets. Be like, you could have hired me. You have this clown. He wants to drop 50 on us. So there's so many things going against the Jets, just their offense versus our defense, that it doesn't matter what our offense is going to do. We can't keep up. And speaking of mobile quarterbacks, the last time we faced one was Josh Allen. And speaking of 50 spots, the Bills should have put up a 50 spot in that game, if not for a few mistakes, a couple fumbles here and there, and some points that they left on the board. The one play where they had a guy wide open in the end zone, Allen didn't see him. So, I mean, they literally left like 17 points on the board, and I think they had like 38 in that game. So you look at the next 3 weeks, who did you face at quarterback? You faced Rippon, you faced Garoppolo, who was hobbled on one ankle for a half, and then you faced Phillip Rivers, non-mobile quarterbacks. So I think Murray's going to be running all over the place. We do not have enough speed to keep up with him, nope. And that's just a huge mismatch. And when you factor in what the Cardinals wide receivers can do, we don't have the corners to keep up with them either, and we don't have a pass rush. So,
well, you look at the corners. I mean, I know people probably want to hear like more X's and O's, but like, look, Pierre Desir has been horrendous, yep. And if that's your quote unquote number one corner, which is laughable, DeAndre Hopkins will do circles around him. Yep. So then, if you say, you know what, I'm going to go zone, but you also got to keep in mind, Bless Austin's banged up. You cut Nate Hairston, so you have Brian Poole, who's good, but other than that, it's all unproven corners, dude. This is all rookies, Lamar Jackson and Guidry, all these guys. You don't have a lot of proven guys in the secondary. Even Ashton Davis is a rookie, dude. Like, you're playing with fire everywhere. Not to mention, we can't cover tight ends either. We can't cover anybody.
I agree, but
Here?
at the very least, a lot of those rookies have some speed. So, again, maybe you get lucky with that, but dude, I don't know.
And then it's like, all right, so you look at the matchups. I mean, there's not really a lot to analyze here. So we just mentioned the secondary can't keep up. The safeties are a question mark. You don't know where the hell Marcus May has gone. I have no idea. Then it comes down to the defensive line. And all right, we've talked about this endlessly. Quentin Williams is due for a big game. Can he do any pressure? The defensive line week in and week out is getting manhandled. I have no idea why, because they have talent. Like, they're like not a lot of talent, but they should be comparable to what they were last year. At least control the line of scrimmage. At least get some kind of pressure. At least do something. And if you're not going to do that, rotate guys out. Like Nathan Shepard was inactive last week. I thought he played well last year. He's got a lot of get these guys in the game and see what they are. Because if your high price guys aren't doing it, then get them the fuck out of the game. Like, what are we waiting for? Like what is is there like a 6-week period? We got to play 6 games, then we change them out. Like you produce or you don't. Week in and week out, you're not doing it. Get out. Like you may not have that depth in the secondary. You had that depth on a defensive line. Like Henry Anderson ain't doing shit. Out. Yeah. Just right.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every guy that we were kind of depending on this year to take that next step, guys like Kyle Phillips, who played phenomenal, I thought, last year for an undrafted free agent.
Yep.
Yeah, Fatukasi also and Shepard. I thought they both played well in their second year. Basham as well, and all of them have kind of regressed this year. It's really weird. The only guy that's I feel like really stepped up is John Franklin Myers, and he's questionable this week. Same thing with Jordan Jenkins, and he struggled this year. So what was
Bryce Huff.
What was kind of viewed as like a strength early in the year, it's quickly turned into shit.
Yeah, so you look at this, you try to like I said, if you guys are watching a show for the first time, thank you. But you look at usually like early in the season, we do a lot more X's and O's, a lot of breaking it down. Say, okay, what's the best matchup? What matchup can you take advantage of? There's nothing here. I mean, to be honest with you, like as a fan, like Frank Gore and Joe Flacco starting the game for me is already a turnoff. That means by 11:30, I'm pounding beers. And by 4 o'clock, when you see our post-game show, I'm probably going to be hammered. Because this is nothing, there's nothing positive about this. There's no outcome in this game that makes you happy. Because I got in a fight with one guy on our Twitter account. He's like, oh, you got to root for wins. Okay.
Why?
No, because he explained this way. He goes, you root for wins because you're building a culture. Well, what exactly is the culture when you're winning with a quarterback that's not going to be here, a running back that's not going to be here, your coach isn't going to be here, and probably 60% of this roster is not going to be here.
You know what's
You're not getting momentum. You're not getting progress because it's not going to matter.
You know what's in the best interest of the culture long term? Getting Adam Gase out.
Yeah, that's
Period.
it.
Period.
Nothing's getting accomplished on Sunday. Nothing.
The quicker he is gone, the quicker the culture can turn around. So more of these meaningless wins is just going to be another reason for ownership to just pat themselves on the back and say, guess what? We're making progress here.
Well, see, it's not the only way the wins aren't meaningless. If Sam Darnold is your quarterback and he's throwing the ball to Mims and all the guys that you want to see play, right? If you have a young group of guys that are contributing where you can walk away and be like, oh shit, Ashton Davis played well, Mims played well, Darnold played well, then you say, okay, this is a productive win. If you're winning with Joe Flacco, Frank Gore, and some other clowns.
But okay, so even if we start, let's say 1-7 again or 2-6. If we get a couple of those down the stretch, are those still meaningful wins for you?
No.
Where that's the whole point. Like there's nothing that can happen this year that, for me at least, can be defined as a meaningful win unless they go on a run of 5, 6, 7 games.
Meaningful is the wrong word. Maybe productive. You get like a productive win, saying Sam Darnold was productive. This is something that we could say, okay, we put this in our file bank here. At the end of the season, okay, when we evaluate the team, okay, Sam did this, and this. I don't give a shit what Flacco does because he's not going to be here next year. Like you look at the good portion of the stars on Sunday, they're not going to be here next year. So it's not culture. You're not defining anything. You're not accomplishing anything. You got to hope guys like Jeff Smith flourish. Maybe Berrios. Any of these young guys get a chance. I'm sure maybe Dante Moncrief's going to play because that guy's back and he sucks too. But what else are you going to do? I don't even. It's very difficult to have any kind of enthusiasm about this game at all.
And you touched on the biggest mismatch, which is going to be Cliff Kingsbury against Adam Gase. And to me, this is going to be similar to what we saw, against Kyle Shanahan, where he ran circles around this defense. And Adam Gase, he was playing it conservative, and we saw Shanahan converting 3rd and longs. We were giving up 3rd and 31s. There was just a total difference.
And that's on Greg Williams too, man. And the weird thing is, Greg Williams isn't getting enough grief here. We're so angry at Adam Gase for everything. I'm blaming everything on him. I'm blaming the rain on him. I'm blaming everything I see now. If I have a bad day at work, I blame it on Adam Gase. I'm blaming him for everything. But Greg Williams, he just kind of under the radar. Everybody's like, no. The defense has been awful. They're getting torched by guys, undrafted guys. You're getting torched by everybody. So I don't know why he's getting a pass.
Personally, I expected it because I just didn't think the defense had any talent coming.
They're not even showing up, though, dude.
No,
they're not even showing up. I mean, they're not tackling. They're not making an effort. They're out of position. They look lost. And the thing is, this is year 2 of the defense. Like, there's not. Like, I understand if you make wholesale changes. For the most part, most of these guys are coming back. You know, the linebackers, the defensive line, Marcus May's coming back, Poole's coming back. You don't have a lot of changes there.
Maybe that speaks to just how impactful of a player Jamal Adams actually was on that defense, where he was able to cover up a lot of your holes last year.
Or the fact that people are on to Greg Williams' second year of his defense, and he's not making any adjustments either. Because we rip Gase for adjustments. Is Greg Williams making them? Or he's like, you know what? I don't have enough talent. And he's kind of mailing in, collecting checks too. You haven't seen any fire and brimstone speeches by him on the sideline. Have you seen him animated, throwing things, kicking things, and yelling?
No.
Like you see more emotion from Tom Brady when he's furious last night than you see from anybody on the sideline all the last 4 games. Right?
No, I completely agree.
So for me, this game is going to be a disaster. Like I don't like if the spread should be the only thing I guess they're making it a competitive game is because West Coast team or the other side of the country coming here early game. But I'm like, it's a mismatch. Their offense versus our defense is a mismatch. Joe Flacco with no protection is a mismatch. This game is going to be just a complete smackdown. There's no other way to go about this.
And not just that, you have the Cardinals who started hot 2-0. They're coming off 2 losses now. They're hungry for a win. Yep, playing in a tough NFC West. I think they're going to roll us.
You have the Kingsbury factor. Why don't you just give the Jets the finger, which we don't give them the finger too. So
wouldn't shock me if they put up 50.
They should. I hope they do. I mean, why not? Yeah. So we'll go to some comments here, and
should be fun.
Yeah, let's go to the first one. I was hoping they canceled the game when I heard about the positive test. I was hoping they canceled the season, to be honest with you. I was like, just cancel, just for the Jets, though.
Well, the only thing I worry about is how would that dictate their draft position if we end the season 0-4? I mean, does the 0 count more than the 4? I don't know how that would work.
Next one is, anyone know if they're letting Ashton Davis get some playing time? Well, first of all, he's got to get healthy. That's the first thing. Now he's questionable. Hopefully he gets in there. Like, if we're being very honest here, May's been invisible, and Bradley McDougall's been just a colossal bust. I mean, I had high hopes for him, and he's just – I don't know if he's just got – I don't know what it is. He got the case of the Jets. I don't know what it is, but he's not been very good at all.
No. I mean, I feel like that's probably what happens when you go from a winning culture in Seattle to this garbage that you're playing for. I mean, it's probably hard to get motivated. So, yeah, Ashton Davis obviously should be out there. You invested a 3rd-round pick in him. And, Marcus May, it's a shame. He had that first, game where he had, 9 tackles, 2 sacks, was all over the place. And we really haven't seen him since.
I'm about to see Flacco injured, that's for sure. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how he stays upright the whole game. I really have no idea. I don't like you. I mean, I was trying to be sarcastic, like maybe Gase will open the playbook or something like that. But I mean, I don't know what his playbook is, but you can't because he's not going to have any protection.
Exactly. If you try to open it, you're probably going to get your quarterback killed. So, I mean, obviously, we're going to be sitting here after the game probably ripping him for not opening it still. But, at the end of the day, if he does, he's probably going to get his quarterback killed with that offensive line. Even the starters that are out there, I think you retweeted it today. Half those guys, especially on the interior, are near like the bottom 5 or so at their position in pass block efficiency. So, it's like now you're putting Flacco back out there who's not mobile at all. It's a recipe for disaster.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you look at it, you have, even Connor McGovern, like a lot of these players that were highly touted that we gave Joe Douglas credit for signing, haven't been very good. Van Roten hasn't been good. Alex Lewis is serviceable. But if you're saying we rebuilt the offensive line, you didn't really do that. It's just better than last year, but still not good. And that's the problem.
And it's another problem that a lot of the pieces that you got rid of are performing very well on good offenses and good teams. So
I'm excited to see Mims. Hope he plays. He's not this week. Dude. He's out for like another 3 weeks or something. I don't know what. I mean, his hamstrings are.
He's still working on his cutting right now, apparently. Jesus. So, I mean, if that's what he's still working on, you're at least 2-3 weeks away. So don't expect to see him anytime soon.
At this point, fired Douglas too. That's his fault for not separating himself from Gase. Best culture in sports, my ass. Listen.
You know what? Normally, 9 times out of 10, I'm always like on board with, give the GM the benefit of the doubt, let him try to build it his way, patience, all that. But you know what? If you could get that Harbaugh type, that, or the Bill Parcells type, I don't think that guy's going to be out there or want to come to the Jets. But if you could get that guy who wants full autonomy over personnel decisions and being the head coach, you got to fucking do it. I mean, what has Joe Douglas done to this point? I know it's only been 1 draft, but where are the results? What have you done to help out your young quarterback? You've aligned yourself with Adam Gase, and the results have been shit. And almost every quote that you've said to the media has come back to bite you in your ass. So he hasn't done enough for me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is it's on the table. At the end of the season, if you're 2-14 and there's a mess and you want to get a prominent head coach and they say, listen, I want this, but I don't want this general manager. If you have to make a power play or something like that, as an organization, everything's on the table. Yep. And I know you want to have some kind of stability. You can't fire a guy every 2 years, 3 years, but you're at rock bottom right now. And if you can get a prominent NFL guy that says, you have instant credibility, instant just a complete overhaul, everything's on the table, dude. Like, I will not look past anything at this point. Yep. No way in hell.
Yep.
And that's what Jets fans have to show the organization. If you don't care about your fans, then why should we care about the organization? Don't buy stuff. I said it on whatever day that was, Tuesday, Monday. All these days look together right now. But, dude, don't buy stuff. Don't buy any gear. Until they fire the coach, don't buy anything. They don't care, man. The fact that Adam Gase is still coaching his team just proves that. They can give a rat's ass. Kyler Murray is going to run all over the Jets. That's a very good possibility. You can't, right? Him and Kenyon Drake. I mean, I can't even argue with that.
They're going to do whatever they want to the Jets on offense. Whatever they want. They want to run it, they can run it. They want to throw it to Hopkins or Kirk or Fitzpatrick or whoever's that, Fitzgerald. I mean, whoever they want to throw the ball to, they're going to be open. Kyler Murray wants to run it, he can run it. It's not going to be an issue for them.
Yeah, I agree. How have you guys been a miserable Jets fan for so long? I just turned 20. Only success I've seen was back-to-back AFC Championship games. I've been a fan since 2008. The Jets have had some good runs. I mean, not Super Bowl, but 98 with Parcells. They had the good runs with Rex. I mean, but the last decade's been just a nightmare.
Yeah, the problem for me is that I was like you. I mean, we were born into it through our families and everything, coming to games. And the big part for me was like the stadium atmosphere as a kid, being a part of that every single Sunday. Like, we had season tickets, me and my dad. So we went to every single game. And to me, that was religion on Sunday, going to football games and just having a great time. So like, in spite of the fact that the Jets make you miserable, that's your team. You stick with them and you hope that one day it'll all be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you're great. You just keep watching. You have some glimmers of hope. We justify half the things. You just become fans, and you don't want to leave because once you leave, they're probably gonna start winning. So you can't do that. And then it's just, you just say, what are you gonna do? I don't know. There's like today, this Sunday is the first time in a long time where I've absolutely no desire to watch this team play. Yeah. I don't like. I just don't. I really don't care.
Yeah. It's impossible to with Flacco out there.
There's prime time. Some feedback for you. Finally tried Truly Lemonade. Black cherry is one of the best. Your thoughts?
Got the original right now, but yeah, I agree. Black cherry or the strawberry?
I think I have. What the hell? I have the strawberry, I think, right now.
I got you drinking it too. Nice.
Yeah, I'd say I have a cup, the Rat Rock.
Why aren't they sponsoring the show already?
We're getting there. My favorite people. See, it's funny you say that, Pouncing Panther, because I think the other 30 people that are ripping us to shreds right now, I have no idea why. That's cool. Which is cool. It's all Bills fans that have no life, so that's cool.
I still don't get why Bill fans rip us.
Where's Bryce Hall? Bryce Hall is in the medical tent, and he's been there for a long time.
With 6 other draft picks.
I mean, do we even expect him to come back this year? Probably not, right? If he does, it'll be, the last few games of the season?
Yeah, I'm not expecting him back. I mean, he had some injuries going back to college, so I think they probably drafted him not expecting him to play. Although I feel like that was the assumption with Bless Austin when he was drafted, and he kind of progressed ahead of schedule when he was out there, so who knows?
Give Bell the ball 40 times. I mean, if the Jets were smart, then they'd have him as a receiver, get the ball in his hands as a receiver, but they won't do that. He'll probably get, 8 to 10 carries, 4 catches.
I hope the fact that if he's going to be active, that he's 100% and they're not, playing games like they've done with other guys. But yeah, I mean, even if they feel that he's 100%, you're 0-4. This isn't a meaningful game.
Would you hear Adam Gase's comment about that?
What did he say?
He said Bell is in better shape now than he was before the injury.
Yeah, so he'll probably give him the ball 30 times.
Yeah. I mean, just give me a break, dude. Yeah. Next one. There is no culture right now. Actually, there is, Ed. I'm gonna debate you. There is a culture. It's called a losing culture. A culture of no accountability, a culture of no leadership, a culture of accepting losing, a culture of justifying losing. There's a culture. It's just the wrong one. It's pathetic.
And that's what's so shocking, that Joe Douglas is just kind of sitting back and not doing anything to actually try to change it. He said all the right things in the offseason, but the actions haven't, spoken louder than that. He's aligned himself with Gase. He hasn't done anything to separate himself from it. And if he goes down with it, so be it. But, at some point, if you're really all about culture, your actions should show it.
Get Greg Williams' ass out of there too. Oh, he's gone too. This whole coaching staff's gone. There's not one remain that's going to stay. I mean, that's next comment. Jets get their doors blown off versus Cardinals. Think they cut the cord with Gase. I mean, you could every loss you can justify it. Like every loss that happens, you could justify. When you just lost on Thursday night primetime TV, where your defense is committing personal foul after personal foul, you're losing to a third string quarterback. You don't. I mean, you've hit or every checklist, every box on the checklist to fire your coach. We've already accomplished it threefold already.
Yep, I agree. If you weren't going to do it after Thursday night with the extra time to prepare, I don't think it's going to happen now at this point in season unless you do it during the bye week where things, maybe completely go downhill even worse. But it's hard to imagine things get worse than this.
Imagine if Gore gets 15 plus carries. I'll be pissed off, man. Guess what, Andrew? That could happen. I mean, they refuse to give they refuse to give the ball to Pirine, and they're going to hold Bell back because, like, you know what? We got to get him in game shape again. You could see. I mean, it's so predictable with Gase at this point.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, they're all saying the same thing. Gore's gonna get plenty of carries. Oh, here's a bold one. This guy's definitely been hitting the bottle a little bit tonight. Jets 34, Cards 31. Bet the house. Listen, I wouldn't bet my house. I wouldn't bet my car. I wouldn't bet my cup of Truly right now on this game for the say the Jets are gonna win. Not even close.
34 points. How is that happening?
Maybe it's a cumulative. Maybe they can score like 34, like over 3 weeks. They can score 34 points. I don't know.
Even that, I think they barely touched that in the first 3 weeks, or they might have hit exactly 34.
Let's see. There we go. First drive, run, screen, punt, betting the house. That's fair. No, it's run, third and long pass, incomplete or short of the first down thing, and then punt. That's usually what happens.
Sometimes it's a first down pass and then run on second and long.
Thoughts, prime time?
What do you mean?
Okay.
You freeze? I think it just froze for a sec. Yeah,
I'm good now.
All right. Yeah,
I was
saying sometimes it's a first down pass and then run second and long, but something along those lines.
This year on Hopkins is going to be high quality entertainment. Not going to lie. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. Great entertainment. Just watching get torched up and down the field.
I would hope he's not on single coverage on Hopkins, but yeah, that's.
Would it surprise you?
It wouldn't, but. I mean, they have so many weapons. It's like, what do you do if you try and double Hopkins? Somebody else is going to beat you. So,
over under Hopkins 10 catches, 125 yards. I think it could probably be more.
I'm actually going to go under because I think that the Cardinals are probably going to be up like 28-10 at halftime, and then they're just not even going to need to throw the ball in the second half. So,
let's see. Hopkins is boosting his stats incredibly if the Sear's on the opposing side. I think they put the Sear on him because they don't have much of a choice. But, I mean, who are you going to put on him? If you don't put the Sear on him, who are you going to put on him? Like, what?
Wes Austin with safety help? Him with safety help? I don't know.
Yeah, so what you guys do, send us some score predictions if you want. I mean, some of these comments, dude, it's just like, oh, yeah. 41-6 Cards. Gase is fired halfway through the game. He should have been fired 3 weeks ago, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
Sad thing is, like, as bad as this game could potentially get, I mean, he's got every excuse in the book, for why they should lose with Flacco out there and all the other injuries. It's not going to happen at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's like if you have like any kind of like I was trying to make moves like in my fantasy football team, I picked up the Cardinals defense. I was trying to make moves for every Cardinal player, like even like the third string receiver. Like I'm cool with that. So I mean, let's see. We'll get some score predictions here. This is just getting fun now. I can see that the booze is kicking in for some people.
Me too.
Think the Jets should make a run at Earl Thomas or Antonio for a spark? No.
Spark of what?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lost cause, man. If anything, you want to see young guys play. Get Ashton Davis healthy and give him as much playing time as possible. And Antonio, Brown? I mean, we're well past that.
And why would those guys want to come here?
Yeah. Jets 28, Cards 27. Cards missed extra point. Some Jet fans feeling positive about Sunday, but they have Flacco fever?
Dude, I don't know.
Flacco and Gore leading the charge. If this was 2010, I'd be pumped. Yeah, same. Me too, man. That's.
Well, yeah, because Rex Ryan will be coaching the team too.
Yeah. Oh, these comments are getting good. Let's see here. 35-6 Cardinals lead by 21 at halftime. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Because if you look at the Jets, they're usually down by 14 in the first quarter, pretty quick. Like they come out flat, they sleepwalk. Then Greg Williams kind of wakes his team up in the middle of the second quarter. They start playing better. By then, you're probably down by 14 or 17 points, I would guess?
Yeah, yep.
Here we go. I was waiting for this one. I've been waiting all day for this one. Real drama will start when Flacco plays well and the offense moves up and down the field, takes heat off Gase and squarely on Darnold. If Joe Flacco plays behind this line without Becton, I just can't even see it happening. But this isn't Joe Flacco from 6 years ago. He He's a bad quarterback now. He can't move. His arm, like he's just not nowhere near what he used to be.
I have
Off
to
a
be
major injury.
I have to be fair though, as Darnold's biggest defender. If Flacco somehow goes out there and puts up 30 points with this cast, you have to put some extra pressure on Darnold when he comes back. If Flacco's going out there and putting up the points, and I'm talking about actually making legitimate throws, throwing guys open, maybe hitting some deep balls. If he's actually doing that, then yeah, absolutely, pressure goes up on Sam.
I mean, Cards 34, Cards 34, Jets 9, Gase gets an extension. I mean, come on, Mr. Primetime. Why you're doubting Flacco, keep a QB who got the Ravens to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, what year was that? 2012, 13?
Look at all the things going against Flacco right here. First thing is he had no preseason. He had no training camp. He missed, other than throwing some passes on the sideline, coming off a major injury, no chemistry at the center, no chemistry at the receivers, no left tackle, playing against a team that's desperate for victory. Patrick Peterson, Budda Baker, Chandler Jones, all these guys. Sell me something on Flacco right now. Okay, Le'Veon Bell's coming back. They haven't used him right since he's been here. Like, I don't know what else. I mean, how do you make a positive spin out of this? I don't know what you can say positive here.
The only positive thing you could think of is if you had a defense that could keep the Cardinals, under 20, where it's like, all right, maybe you can ground and pound Le'Veon Bell and, just manage the game to, a 20-17 win. But this defense isn't keeping the Cardinals under 30. That's not happening. So the expectation or what you're actually going to need from Flacco to win this game, it's not happening.
Cardinals 47-10 defensive touchdown.
I could see something like that.
It's on the table.
Yep.
So now I just got a text here. This is an interesting text. And this happened? Is
I can't deal with any more bad news right now.
No, this is no. This is an interesting one. And this is I can't believe people do this, but apparently they do. We've been asked several times, and I don't know why, probably because they want to see how much we drink during games, to live stream during the game. Like, people actually live stream the entire game. Like, they're on here for 3 hours. How the hell do they do that? What do? They watch the game in the background? They comment it while the game's going on? That's how that works?
Yeah, they pretty much announce it. And
why?
I mean, to each their own. People want to get views. I understand it. But for me, at least, I want to sit back. I want to enjoy the game. I want to actually kind of be able to focus in on what's going on instead of,
But like, what do you? So if you're a viewer, you would see what me and you, but you can't show the game. That's against the NFL rules, I would assume, right? You can't. Well, you can't broadcast the game.
Yeah, exactly. I would assume that people probably watch something like this on the laptop and then have the game on the TV. I don't know.
I don't know if I could be on this for 3 hours. I wouldn't. And you imagine the things we say during the game. I'd probably know what I even say half the time. You probably see shit flying across the room. This get broken. The monitor go down. Like, can you imagine the things that go on in this? It'd
be fucking chaos. It could be good for ratings. I mean, maybe it's something
ratings. Ratings. Shit, ratings. We'll probably lose followers. But I couldn't even imagine sitting next to a computer for 4 hours, like watching a game. Like, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, more power to him. What are the chances Gore gets more carries than Bell? I'd say high.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, unless you're talking about giving P. Ryan a little bit more of a workload, which I think he should get, I think it's probably going to be somewhat equal, where they're both going to see the ball between like 8 and 12 times, something like that.
Yep. You guys are reaching 1996 levels of crappiness. I could say we're actually worse than that. We're probably worse than that now, because now we've actually ruined 2 of your best players in terms of you ruined your quarterback, you got him hurt, and now your prize left tackle is banged up, where he's lost strength in his shoulder. Like, your young players, like in 1996, you had a lot of veteran guys. You had like a little different mix. You didn't really have your quarterback. You had a lot of things you try and change around. This is like a young core guys, and the bulk of your young core guys aren't even playing.
That's the one thing that's most aggravating, especially the quarterback position, where it was like in 96, like you said, it was some veterans. It was, a defense that was pretty solid, but you didn't have that franchise quarterback. And again, whatever your opinion is on Sam, there's a lot of people out there that do still view him as a franchise quarterback. And so instead of doing everything we can to build him up, we're kind of closing in on the halfway point of the season, not knowing what we have, which is a damn shame.
He's not on a field.
Yep.
Is there a chance Gase won't be fired after this year? Not a chance in hell. He's gone. He's a dead man walking. And the reason why they're not, I don't know why they're not doing it now, but they're incompetent.
I wish I felt as confident as you. I'd like to think so. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious that he has to go, but just knowing this organization, would it shock you if, again, the second half of the year, we pull off another, 5-3 stretch and they look at, would it really shock you if ownership viewed 4 or 5 wins this year and say, wow, you know what, we really turned it around? Would that really surprise you, though, coming from this ownership group?
Next comment is Brian Poole ain't that a Tyson to put on Hopkins or Kirk either. He would probably get burned unless he's a short pass, which they most likely won't. I like Brian Poole. I don't have any problems with him, to be honest with you. He's the least of the concerns in the secondary. He's probably your best corner at this point. But there's no good matchups. Fitzgerald, like all these guys, there's no good matchup amongst anywhere. Kyler Murray's gonna be picking whoever he wants. Like, oh, you go here. He's gonna probably sit in the backfield. Like, you go here, just start pointing. You sit there, you sit here. Here's the pass. No pass rush and no pass coverage. It's just a recipe for disaster. Let's see. Go through the Jets' schedule. They literally won't win a game. Listen, my only selling point winning games is there's going to be one game every year they just shock the world and they play good. There's no reason behind it whatsoever. And then I figure there's going to be another game where the other team's going to take us for granted and be like a trap game. We're like, we're playing the shitty Jets. They don't show up and they sleepwalk and they sneak one out. So I'm saying 2 wins this year. That's my prediction.
I mean, again, when you look at the actual games, I don't see any more than, a win against Miami, and I really don't know where else. Maybe the Chargers, you squeak one out. Maybe the Raiders, if they come back down to earth a little bit, but right now they're playing well. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine more than 2 to 3 wins. But like I said, if you somehow squeak out 4 or 5, I think if you somehow did that, not that it should be enough, but it would not shock me if Douglas and ownership said, you know what? We got this thing turned around. We're heading in the right direction. And they try to sell that bullshit to the fans. Yep. Would it shock you, dude? Would it?
I think they're all gone, dude. Like, I'm not even. If Alec Ogletree plays any snaps over Avery Williamson, then leave Greg Williams at MetLife. Alec Ogletree should have been cut already.
Yeah.
Like, he should have been cut 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm not really sure what we're doing here. Like, and I don't understand what we're doing with the practice squad anymore either. Like, is Joe Douglas just sitting here content, or is he just going to say we can't try guys out because of COVID? Like, I'm not really sure what they're doing there, but I guess when's Owasu coming back? Is there any time maybe on him?
I thought it was supposed to be week 5, week 6, but I didn't hear anything yet.
I'd like to see what the hell he is. Like, he was highly touted too. We haven't seen. I mean, this injury report's just insane.
I know. Can't even keep track of it anymore.
Let's see. We got, what is this? Jets 6-3 in the history, but like Tyson said, I wouldn't bet my house on it. But if you're a Jets fan betting this game for the Jets to win, it better be like on some kind of parlay where you're getting a shit ton of points. Like,
are we talking about Jets 6-3 against the Cardinals in their history?
I guess so.
What does that matter for the current New York Jets with half their roster injured versus a young up-and-coming Cardinal team that is well coached with a good offensive mind and a young quarterback with speed and weapons and everything else they have? I mean,
where is Bryce Hall, our best young corner? Bryce Hall's hurt, man. He's been hurt. He didn't practice, no training camp, no nothing. He's just it's gonna be a while till you see him. I'm not really sure what this comment says. I'm just gonna put it up there anyway because I don't care anymore. Tyson, I had to shoot a rabid raccoon today, and I had a vision afterwards of Flacco with wings and a sword slaying Cardinals in heaven. I now know he'll win this game. Man, you're shooting rabid raccoons. I mean, there's a lot to go there with that, but
it's not a good
works, I guess. This team is worse than the 2008 Lions because the 08 Lions actually had a star. There's no star power on this team, man. There is not one superstar, not one megastar. I mean, Bell is a star, but
should be.
Yeah, Bell should be, but right now he's not. I mean, this team is not marketable. This team is not exciting. It's not must-watch TV by no means. You can make a very argument to watch anything but this game on Sunday, unless you're a Kyler Murray fan or somebody.
Can we talk about Bell for a second?
Sure.
Are you actually trading him at the deadline?
Yes.
And for what?
Whatever. I don't care, dude.
What would it take?
Fourth round pick, third round pick, fourth round pick. I'd be happy with that.
Fourth round pick. You're trading Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
See, I hate the idea of doing that. I keep saying that deadline's coming up 3-4 weeks or whatever it is, that he's probably going to be the guy that they're going to look to shop, if he's healthy, at least at this point. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense. If you're really trying to evaluate Sam throughout the rest of the year, why trade what's arguably your most talented offensive playmaker?
Because to me, it's like, if in my opinion, so this is where we disagree. In my opinion, he's not coming back next year. So I'd rather get something for him now than nothing for him next year.
But why is it a given that he shouldn't be coming back?
Because they're going to go young.
It's not like he's old, though. He's 28 years old.
I mean, the age, the miles, the price tag. I'd rather just move on, get drafted.
What miles? He sat out a year. He's fresh.
Yeah, but dude, he still has a gazillion miles on his tires, dude. It's like, I'd rather just go get rid of the contract, draft some young guy. You have him, Prime, all these young guys. I'm not spending money. I'm not spending money on a running back. I spend money on my offensive line that still hasn't been rebuilt. Give me a pass rusher. Give me a receiver.
So we're gonna sit here again next year, complain about all the weapons, and watch Le'Veon Bell probably be great somewhere else.
Hello, I'm new. I'm a Steelers fan. Lucky you, young. Yeah, I mean, good for you. And I feel as though the Jets are letting down Sam Darnold. Do you feel the same, or do you feel like you should draft a quarterback? Well, I'll start off. The Jets have epically failed Sam Darnold. They have done everything in their power to write a new book of how to destroy young quarterback. They've destroyed him. They've done everything wrong possible. They wrote a new blueprint for a failing organization. That's it. I mean, what else can you say about it?
They have absolutely failed him. And, to say, though, that he can't be turned around, at the age of 23, I disagree with that. I still think you've seen enough flashes to say there's a talented quarterback there. There's enough analysts that I trust that, say he can be a talented quarterback if you put the right pieces around him. So, again, I think the Jets have absolutely let him down in every way possible, from the head coach to the GMs to the offensive coordinators to the weapons around him. Everything that they've done around this kid has been an absolute failure. So I do think that, if you're fortunate enough to be picking number one, I think it makes sense to try and trade that pick and absolutely build around your quarterback, get some weapons in here, build a real foundation. But, I think that's going to be for the new head coach and Douglas to decide at the end of the year.
Next one. This Jets team is worse than the 2017 Browns and the 2008 Lions, or is this a team that should get a better coach first? No, this team is bad. Like, there's no talent on this team. Like, let's call it, like, the coach is terrible. The general manager remains to be seen, but there is not a lot of talent on this team. Like, there's just not. You need a complete overhaul here.
I agree, but I still think that the right coaching staff would get a lot more out of what's here. I'm not saying there's a whole lot of talent.
Like, a lot more than, like, 5 wins?
5-6 wins. I think that games would be closer. I don't think we'd be getting blown out by double digits in every game. We've lost by a combined, 60-something points in these 4 games. So I don't think that would be happening with the right coaching staff.
Like, how many Pro Bowl players are on this team right now? Say right now, say we had a different coach. How many Pro Bowl caliber players are on this team? 1? Maybe
Bell, 2. Bell, maybe Quinnen in another year, but probably not right now. So yeah, probably just Le'Veon Bell. To be honest,
this is a league where you need game-breaking talent. They just don't have any, man.
No, I completely agree. But then, you look at the 49ers and, they were without how many of their game-breaking players, and they blew past the Jets. They blew past the Giants. Yep. To me, that's an example of how coaching can elevate, lesser talent.
That's fair.
So
that's definitely fair. Do you see Joe Douglas trading anyone this next month or so?
Everyone on defense.
Yep. The trade deadline, I think anything can happen. Anything. I mean, it's fire sale. I think they're going to be like, you offer something, they'll consider any player on this roster. Anybody. Yep.
No, I agree. Especially on the defensive side, everyone, I think, but Quinnen Williams is probably going to be up for grabs. And then offensively, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think Bell is going to be on the block. I don't agree with it, but it doesn't seem like they're very high on him, or at least paying him over the next 2 years of his contract. So I could see him on the block. And yeah, maybe even guys like Alex Lewis or somebody like that, Van Roten, if you can get a late round pick. I mean, who knows?
Is it bad I'm rooting for 0-16?
Nope, not at all.
Nope, not at all. You want the number 1 pick. And that's the other guy attacked me. He's like, how could you want the number 1 pick? I'm like, how could I want it? Because if I have it, I can either get Trevor Lawrence, or if I don't want Trevor Lawrence, I like you said, trade it for, like, it's in such a position of like a bargaining position here. Like, you could say, you know what? I either get my quarterback I want, or I can get all of these draft picks I desperately need. But it's something that either way, the Jets organization is going to get better significantly. So it's, how could you not want that pick?
Yep.
Bell is 100% gone. Douglas is going to have a yard sale. Might even try to sell MetLife Stadium if he can. Well, MetLife Stadium's a dump, so you probably won't get much back for it. When you compare it to like the Raiders Stadium and the Cowboys Stadium, all these other beautiful, like the new San Diego, or the one up there in the California. I mean, you can't even compare, dude. MetLife's it's a shithole.
Yep. Even the Vikings and Falcons, all these new stadiums that cost less money than MetLife are phenomenal. So it's a shame.
And a lot of things about Bell getting cut.
That's going to drive me nuts if that happens. That's going to be our next fight.
Yeah. Let's see. Can't wait to see your reaction when Gase turns this season around with Flacco leading the charge into the playoffs. Oh, my goodness. Give me a break, man. Listen, I mean, I can't even. I mean, Daniel, do you really think they're going to win this weekend? Like, seriously, we broke down everything, I don't know. How do you feel about Mike Greenberg saying Trevor Lawrence should refuse to play for the Jets? We're all miserable, but that doesn't help. Mike Greenberg's a clown and just trying to make big statements and be dramatic and get more views and promote all his podcasts and all this other shit. That's a ridiculous statement. That's
Well,
ridiculous.
Well, listen, I'm no fan of Mike Greenberg, but what he's saying, though, I think has some merit. If you're Trevor Lawrence and you're looking at the way the Jets have developed quarterbacks over the years, in particular Sam Darnold, who was, a top 3 pick, if you're looking at what they've done to him, why would you want to play for this organization?
It's very simple. As a Jets fan that has any kind of clue or any kind of sense, Joe Douglas and his highly touted front office is going to hire a reputable coach. So you have a reputable coach, a shitload of cap space, and a lot of draft picks. You could very easily sell the rebuilding plan with a prominent quality coach or a very good coach.
Who's that guy? Player. Who's that guy though?
Okay, say you hire Eric Bieniemy, he's not going to be respected.
Is he going to want this job?
Just if you hire him, is he respected?
Yes, I think he would be.
Absolutely. There you go. So you have Eric Bieniemy, you have a ton of cap space and a ton of draft picks. That's your rebuilding plan.
But you still have to get that guy.
I'm just saying, but that means they're going to get a new coach. So you're not saying come to New York and play for Adam Gase. You're coming to a complete rebuild with a lot of weapons, and Joe Douglas can sell a vision. Like it's not hard to figure out.
No, I agree, but then also
Greenberg just being a negative Nancy, trying to get more let's let everybody rally, and I want to make headlines for this comment. It's a bullshit comment. Tell Trevor Lawrence to come here, you're a clown. Who would say that?
But I think there's merit behind it, though.
There's no fucking merit behind it. Like,
and he might not
hire a different coach.
He might not want to play here without even knowing who the head coach is. We're gonna say you automatically want to play here.
They're gonna have a head coach before the draft, man. They're gonna have a head coach by February. The draft can be in probably May.
A good one? We don't know.
What are they gonna do? Wait till what? July to get a coach? They got the season. Season ends on what date? Gase is fired the next day.
I'm saying,
I'm
saying, are we gonna have a well-respected, reputable coach before the draft? We don't know that. We hope we're going to hire somebody, but we have no idea who they're going to hire. They could bring in, like we were talking about last night or the other night, they could bring in Bill O'Brien.
Everybody keeps telling me they're hiring Bill. They're not bringing Bill O'Brien in. I mean, that's
we said the same thing about Adam Gase. There's no way they're bringing this guy in, and guess what? They hired him. So to rule anything out with this team would be ridiculous. Dude, anything can happen. And so, again, to look at the last 10 years of the New York Jets and to say that Trevor Lawrence wouldn't pull a Peyton Manning or an Eli Manning and try and force his way to the right situation, especially what if the Giants are picking 2?
Yeah, I mean.
You don't think he would try and pull some shit to not play with the Jets and go to the Giants, clearly a more well-respected organization?
I think you could very easily if you're a primetime quarterback that's won all he's won, you come and you could be a superstar in New York if you embrace the rebuild, you come in #1 pick, you can rebuild and he could be a star in New York, dude. You'll make so much marketing money, it's insane. So you embrace the challenge.
So maybe he'd want to be a star with the Giants.
Nah, I'm not buying it. Let's see. You are lying. The owners never let GM pick coach. Jets been doing that for years. Get your facts straight. I'm not really sure what facts we're saying wrong because it's the first time they've had a structure like Joe Douglas and the revamped front office where he demanded a 6-year contract. He demanded a lot of money for him and his staff, and there was most likely stipulations that he's going to have a say on the next head coach.
A say, yes, but I'm actually going to defend that comment because we don't know for a fact if Joe Douglas is going to be allowed to pick this head coach because right now he reports separately with the head coach.
So what Joe Douglas is going to do is going to be like, here's my recommendation. Are you going to sign off on it? So yes, ownership has the final say, but I mean, they're going to take the advice of the guy, of their football guys. That's what Joe Douglas and his staff are here for.
I would hope so. Unless you have another Peyton Manning phone call or somebody else that calls you and say, "Hey, this is the guy."
Obviously, the owners make the final decision. It's their team. It's like their toy.
Yeah,
but they're going to rely on Joe Douglas and his staff to kind of vet everybody out and be like, "All right, this is the best fit for my team based on the personnel that we have and everything else."
No, that I agree.
I agree with you. Tyson Murray didn't say he wanted to play for Arizona before he was drafted. T-Law won't hold out and miss out on the opportunity. Yeah, I mean, a lot could change. I mean, if Gase was still here, I mean, obviously that would be a complete disaster. But I mean, they're gonna overhaul everything here. They're gonna have a new coach, new vision. They're gonna spend a lot of money. I mean, they're gonna sell a lot of stuff to whoever that top pick is.
I just think a lot can happen between then. I mean, he can go back to college. You can hire the wrong coach. He could just look at your past decade and say, you know what, ownership is still going to be the constant there. I don't trust that ownership group. There's a lot that can play into this. So.
Maybe no one wants to play here because of harsh critics like you guys. We're just two clowns. We're not even critics, man. We're just fans.
I think we're the least of the problems. And you know what? Unfortunately, the Jets organization, they do pay attention to things like this, which is, again, why we're the clusterfuck that we are. They don't pay attention to the real issues. They're worried about what people say about them. They're worried about the media, trying to control different storms, when in reality, the actual on-the-field stuff and hiring the right football guys.
Man. It's New York. This
Exactly.
is New York, New Jersey. This is the culture.
Yep.
Like, this is the Knicks. I mean, anybody, like the Yankees, everybody. This is the way it is, man. Win or lose, you win, you're a star. If you lose, you're a bum. That's the way it is. And the Jets have been losing for a decade now.
Yep.
The Jets should hire a veteran coach as a proven winner. Well, Rex Ryan's not really a proven winner. Jimmy Johnson's older than dirt, and Cowher's done. I mean, I understand the premise behind it. Like a winning head coach makes sense, but none of those three are going to qualify for it.
And that's what I worry about. In all likelihood, you're probably bringing in somebody like a Bieniemy or somebody that's unproven, and I don't know how attractive that's going to be. If you can get that veteran guy that can immediately change the culture, the one name I feel like we talk about a lot is Jim Harbaugh. If you can get somebody like that, for instance, yeah, absolutely. I think you'd have to do it. That would make plenty of sense. I just don't know if that guy's going to be available.
What would the Jets look like if we hired Kingsbury? I can tell you one thing. Sam Darnold look a lot better.
Everyone would look a lot better right now.
I get Sam Darnold look a lot better, and Robbie Anderson would probably still be here.
Yep.
Right? And Le'Veon Bell probably be a lot happier too.
It's a damn shame.
Right? I mean, look at the difference. Watch Kingsbury's game plan. He didn't play well last week, but I mean, he uses he features guys. He does things. He makes his quarterback better. He develops the offense for the quarterback. He does everything Gase doesn't do. I mean,
could have hired him. Could have hired Matt Rule.
I mean,
it's a damn shame. At least McCarthy's not looking good, so don't have to worry about that one.
It's amazing how the Jets had 10 losing seasons and no talent to show for it. That is the amazing thing. You look at building blocks, and the Jets have found a way to not collect. Well, they had one, Jamal Adams, but they found a way to collect absolutely none.
It's crazy.
So we're gonna start wrapping things up here. Score predictions, get those in. Like I said, there's not really a lot to talk about with this team right now. This game is not exciting. Flacco, Gore, the mismatch, their offense versus the Jets defense is a nightmare. There's no way you could even. I don't know how you guys even justify it. I mean, what's the point spread in this game? 7,
which I think is very low. Last I saw, started out I think at 6.5, and then it was up to 7.5, then to 7. So yeah, I think that's pretty low.
Do you know who I really feel bad for? Our media guy. Dude has to really make scraps of positivity by making wallpapers and showing garbage time TDs. Guy is just doing his job and getting roasted. That's the truth, man. This poor. I mean, and now it's like if you're ever in a bad mood, you want to change your mood. You know what you do? You go to any Jets tweet and read the responses to it, man. It's just, it is brutal. It puts me in a good mood because you see they'll do this happy thing oh, it's a feel good Friday, and they show Ashton Davis catching the ball. And you hear oh, he fucking sucks. He sucks. He hurts. This team sucks. Fire Gase. There's 30 comments, dude, that are just roasting them.
I was gonna say this is one of the few times that I feel like the fan base has been largely, united on one issue, which is getting Gase the hell out of here.
So some score predictions as we go through the scroll here: Arizona 34, Jets 6. Arizona 34, Jets 14. 38-7 Cardinals. Jets will get owned. I see notice a pattern here. Cards 31, Jets 6. Man leads the team with tackles. He very well could. He's probably our best linebacker at this point.
That one.
Scotty. What does this say? I gotta go back. What happened? We get this big influx of comments. I think I lose my scroll. Arizona 24, New York 17. There was a funny one though. This must be an older fan because I know the reference. 56-10 Cardinals, 38-12, all field goals for us. Ficken, I gotta be honest, dude. Ficken's playing better. I thought he sucked, but
special teams has been good. Can't knock that.
You guys remind me of the two old guys in the balcony in the Muppets show. I like it. Do you remember the Muppets, dude, or are you too young?
I'm too young. I mean, I watched it when I was young, but I don't remember it.
Dude, it's two guys just rip everything, man. They're funny as hell. Cards 24, Jets 6. This ain't happening. Fire everyone, including Douglas. Back up the Brinks truck for Dabo Sweeney. Let him roll with the best quarterback to come out in the past decade and give him full control. That ain't happening. Right?
I don't think they're giving a college coach full control because Matt Rule wanted that and they wouldn't give it to him. So right now you have Douglas signed for 6 years, and unless you're getting a guy that's proven in the NFL, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Cards 31, Jets 13. Let's see. 30-0. It's a lot of positivity here. Let's see. Cardinals 73-6. Fascinating.
Wow.
I'm losing my screen here again. Let's see. I'm hoping for a big blowout so Gase can be gone. I don't think that's going to – would it matter? Do you think that's going to happen, though, if the Jets get blown out big time, that the Gase gets fired? I don't think so.
I don't think anything can happen at this point, at least over the next 3 to 4 games leading up to the bye week, that's going to change anything. Maybe at the bye week you decide to make a move where you have 2 full weeks to prepare the new head coach. And, if things really go downhill where, you still haven't won a game, or maybe you just have 1 win, something like that. But yeah, if you weren't going to fire him after Thursday night, it's hard to believe that it would happen after this week.
We have any chance of winning, we have to limit Murray. If I was a DC, I would 50-50 blitz one of our corners and have one of your inside linebackers spy Murray on the run. Too bad I'm not. Cards win 38-13. Well, first of all, who are you going to blitz on your corner? You can blitz maybe Poole. I'll go with that. But then you're going to do what? If you're going to go what? Desir on Hopkins, man-to-man, and pray? And then what inside linebacker? Your linebacker speed, Ogletree's slow. Williams is not who he used to be. Hewitt's got a little burst, but
doesn't matter who you spy on him. He's going to be faster than that guy, so it's not going to matter.
41-6. Gase gets fired day after and signed Urban Meyer. There you go. He'll come here and have a heart attack 6 weeks in. He won't be able to tolerate the shit that happens here. 59-0 Cards. 103-3. A lot of positivity here.
That's sad.
A lot of predictions of Flacco getting hurt. Where is it? Flacco gets injured for being a statue, and they bring in Mike White. Oh, they don't even bring in Morgan. There you go. 28-13. Kenyon Drake revenge game.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So then you got the Kenyon Drake and the Cliff Kingsbury revenge game.
That's gonna be a 3-touchdown day for Drake.
35-10 Cards a half. Everyone in the Jets pulls a hamstring. Put in the cheerleaders. Come back and win. 42-35. Fascinating take there.
Flight crew it is.
Yeah, might as well. Let's see. I guess that's pretty much it because the rest of these are just comedy. 37-17 Cards. Joe just doesn't have enough help. Flacco doesn't have any help, but he's not very good either. That's the problem. Oh, Beecham revenge game too. I forgot Kelvin Beecham's on this team too.
All right.
He's gonna know the Adam Gase offense. We're really screwed. Uh-oh.
Who doesn't know the Adam Gase offense?
I get this one. Here you go, Prime Time. Could you imagine? If they signed Brian Kelly?
I don't know if I could do the show.
It'd be unbearable. It would be. I tell you what, though, he wouldn't tolerate the shit going on right now. His face would be purple, screaming at people, throwing things. The whole bench would be clear, dude. He'd be breaking everything. He goes nuts, man.
If he wins, I'd be on board.
Yeah, he's a pretty crazy dude. All right, Prime Time. We did about an hour of this, which was probably not that entertaining because this game's going to suck. What is your prediction for this game?
A lot of pain, a lot of drinking, but yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Like we broke it down. Kyler Murray's too fast. They have too many weapons. It's going to be the Cliff Kingsbury revenge game, like we talked about. I think he's really going to want to put up 40 in this one, and I think he will because our defense, we don't have the corners, we don't have the speed, we don't have the pass rush. We're not going to be able to keep up with them. And then with the injuries on the offensive side of the ball, no Beecham out there, probably not a whole lot of Le'Veon Bell. And I don't think Flacco's going to give you a whole lot with these receivers. So, yeah, I'm going 45-12 with a lot of field goals.
Yeah, this is a mismatch on both sides of the ball. The Jets are going to bring nothing to the table. No faith in Flacco, no faith in Gore, no faith in the offensive line, no faith in the coaching staff, no faith in the effort. Then you look at the Cardinals need this game big time. They got to win this game. They have much more talent, better coaching, and that offense is going to torch us. And once we get down, I think once they get a quick lead, say 21-3 or whatever, this team's going to quit. You're 0-4. You've had all this negativity surrounding you. At some point, you start mailing it in. So I'm going to go 38-10, 38-13. This game's a laugher. Nobody gets fired. Nobody cares. Same old Jets, same old shit. And we'll be on an hour after. This is nothing, right?
Yeah, and not just that. You had all the players that were sent home today, didn't even get that, last kind of practice in to really prepare for this one. So, yeah, they have every excuse in the book, and for a fact that, Gase is going to use it after the game.
Yeah, so we appreciate you guys watching this. It's a Friday night. You have much better things to do, and this team sucks, and this game's going to suck. So we appreciate it. 1 hour after the game. It could be sooner if it's a really ugly one. We can go live right afterwards. So we'll talk to you guys.
The game, so yeah.
We'll talk to you guys on Sunday.
Later.